Your sales pipeline is the lifeblood of your business, and AI is now automating every single part of it. Now, the problem is most businesses don't know where to start. Now, my name's Liam, and for the last 3 years, we've helped over 100 businesses build these automated sales and marketing systems powered by AI. And in this video, I'll be walking you through what these automated systems mean for your business, as well as showing you step by step how we've set our pipeline up and automated it with AI so you can then go and do the same. But why is this system so important in the first place? And why is it that we see 90% of businesses getting this pipeline stage wrong? Generating more traffic inside of your business is the part that every single person obsesses about the most. What ads can you run? What outreach methods can you use? How can you go and create content to go and get more leads? And the problem with this is you can go and send as much traffic as you like to your business, but if you don't have a conversion mechanism to then turn that traffic into clients, then there's no point in doing that. So put down the Lead Gen for Dummies book and listen very, very closely. Once you start managing leads the right way, educating your prospects on your business rather than actually going straight in for the sale, and converting them into clients without manually following up with them or spending a ton of human time inside of that sales process, then you'll be ready to turn that traffic tap on. But until then, it's all about getting those systems live and working. And this is by far the biggest constraint that I see with the business owners that we speak and work with. Some people are managing leads in a Google spreadsheet. Everything's manual, it's slow. They're converting leads at a rate that just makes it impossible to scale. So how does this system I'm about to show you today solve this? Well, we simplify the process. We're not looking to create more work for ourselves. You only have a finite amount of time in your day, and so does your team. But we now have the secret weapon of AI and automations that allows us to expand our time without needing to hire in more team members to actually run the business. The AI does all of the heavy lifting for us inside of our sales process. And we as humans now only need to get involved in other key areas like driving more traffic or delivering for our clients. The entire conversation element is handled by AI, and it helps us turn that traffic into revenue. Now, we of course still have human sales guys, but the rest is automated. We're managing hundreds of leads every single week with under 2 hours of work. So look, what are the steps that we're going to be looking at today? And if there's anything on this list that you're not doing, it's a very good sign that this system is for you. Number one, we're going to be looking at what happens when we actually generate a lead. 2, how do we then go and qualify all of those leads? 3, how do we speak with every lead on autopilot? 4, how do we nurture our leads and prep them to buy? 5, how do we segment all of our leads? And then finally, 6, how do we ask our leads to take the next step inside of our sales process? So look, I'm going to screen share with you and cover all of this now inside of my computer. So let's jump into it. This is the exact system that we're using inside of Unorthodox. It's the exact system that we build for our clients, and it is proven to work very, very well. Now, there's only 3 spots really that we need to get involved as humans, and this is a dodgy drawing of where they are. We have founders' time being spent on actually driving traffic. We have founders' time being spent on actual the sales calls, or should I say human time. There's no founders on these sales calls anymore. And then there's also founders' time, myself, on client onboarding calls when we actually sign a client and actually get to working with them. Those are the only 3 touch points that we have right now inside of Unorthodox where a human has to get involved. The rest is automated, the rest is managed by AI, it's working, and it now can work at scale because there isn't any bottlenecks of us relying on humans to clock in or do something manually. It's all automated, and this is exactly what I want to show you today. So the first part of this system is obviously driving traffic. Now, this is the question that most of you watching this video are probably most excited to hear about or want to know more about is, how do I drive more traffic into the business? For us, we have paid traffic and we have organic traffic. So videos like the one you're watching right now, and then paid ads on Meta, which sends people through into this ecosystem. Now, for me, I wouldn't focus on anything else. If you're currently doing these 2 things, get this down, because as soon as you can get paid traffic down, you can then, it's just a scalable system, right? Like, especially if you have this sales system on the back end, it literally is a case of spending more on ads, getting your message in front of the right people and more people, and then pushing them through this system. Now, right now, we aren't spending a crazy amount of money. We'll book anywhere from sort of 26 to 35 calls per week, and then we are paying around £50 per book call. Now, with this system I'm about to show you, we are seeing a 90% show rate. This means every single penny that we spend inside of Facebook ads and Google ads, whatever we're doing, we're seeing a much larger return because we're not getting no-shows or people that aren't qualified booking into our calendar. So let's go through that. The first step, once someone watches our content or sees an ad that we post online, is they come through to a VSL page. So this is just a sales page. There's a video of me on this. You can click the link in the description of this video to be taken to our VSL page and actually go through the system yourself. But this video is me talking about what we do, who we help, how we can help them, the sort of results we're seeing for clients. And in this case, it's building these exact sales systems for our clients, right? So you could even say that this video right now is a form of a VSL. So we have a VSL page, and then the key next step for us is before we actually take them to go straight into booking for a call, we want some level of qualification. Now, going back to my point about having a 90% show rate, the only reason we have that is because we have qualification. The people that have applied and had the opportunity to book in for a call with us know what we do, how we can help them. They've seen results that we've driven for clients. They trust we can help them. And they're also qualified to be there. Someone isn't going to show up to your call if they feel like you aren't really a good fit for them, or they're not really serious about growing their business, right? So this is such a key step that so many people miss. Now, luckily, we have a few different ways of doing this, and we can use AI to help us here, and we do that. So let me run through that really quickly. What we do, instead of having like a general opt-in page where you send people through to like a lead magnet page where they then opt in and then they go through to the VSL page, we have a qualification step, which is like a survey in the middle of these two funnel steps, right? And in that survey, whether you complete it or not, we collect your phone, email address, and name in that first question on that survey. So if you quit the survey, it doesn't matter because we've still got that information there where we can then, reach out to you, try to set an appointment. Our AI will reach out to you. We also have your name inside of our pipeline and our CRM at that point. So you are on our email list and that kind of thing. So once someone submits that survey, they obviously then get taken to the book a call. If they book in a call, great. If they don't, what we have is we have an AI agent that actually reaches out to you as soon as you opt into our funnel to try to set an appointment. Now, obviously, this system is dynamic. It's smart enough to know whether or not you've booked in for a call or not. But what we do is we reach out to every single new lead in under a minute. And we do that through WhatsApp or SMS, depending on the country you're in. So our first opening message is usually giving away some form of free value. What you usually see is people giving away like a lead magnet as like an email. They just send the email to you as soon as you opt in. And the problem with this is you don't really spark any form of conversation. You're just hoping that someone reads or consumes your lead magnet and then comes back to you and shows more interest in what you're doing. For us, what we want to do is when we open up these conversations, my first question to people, and by the way, this is all automated, done with AI, is the AI reaches out and it says, hey, what would you find more value in? Our 100K funnel or an AI system that books more qualified calls for your business? And what this does is it allows them to respond and basically request a specific type of lead magnet depending on where they're at. And as soon as they do this, the AI agent then just has a dynamic conversation with them, going back and forth, asking qualification questions, and then determining whether or not they're actually going to be a good fit for what we sell. Now, this is all done inside of Go High Level. And at any point in this video, if you decide that you want this exact copy and paste system for your business that you can then just go and implement yourself, there will be a link down below where we are actually selling it as a complete template for you guys now as well. So very, very easy to get started. That includes all of the AI agents too. So what happens is once this lead has then been qualified and it's been reached out to instantly by this AI, the AI then pitches a sales call, right? So once someone has accepted that sales call, it will send through a booking link. We've already got the qualification questions done through this chat. There's no need to send them back to another page or another form. The bot will actually send through a booking link that they can click, make a booking, choose a slot on the calendar to then speak with the sales team. They get their confirmation email, and then the bot will then reach out saying, hey, look, let us know if there's anything specific that you really, really want to focus on this call. And of course, that just brings us back to this booked call. So not only do we now have like this circular system right at the beginning where leads are instantly engaged with, but they're also qualified. And even if they don't book in for a call, there is this automated system that brings them back to that point of booking in for a call. So this is probably one of the core reasons why we're booking calls so cheaply. And we are booking calls so efficiently and so effectively with such little ad spend. Now, after the call has been booked, inside of Go High Level, we do obviously assign a sales team member so they have their own unique pipeline so they can manage their leads and see, who's booked in, who hasn't, what sort of qualification they have. They can jump into that contact and see all of the answers they either gave on their survey or obviously all of the conversations they've been having with the AI itself. And then from there, the opportunity is then created inside of our pipeline where that contact will then be there. And, we have different automations set for different sections. So qualified, waiting to book, new leads, booked call, disqualified. There's about like 23 other pipeline stages in this, but we don't have to go through all of them today. This is obviously what's happening on the back end inside of our system. But for them, they've booked in for a call. They then go through to a thank you page. This is another reason why we have such a high show rate. What happens is we provide them next steps. We actually tell them what they can expect on this call. We ask them to go and watch some content on our YouTube. We ask them to check their calendar, make sure they're checking their email and confirm the meeting. We really, really, really want to make it as easy as possible and make it really hard for them to actually not show on this call because they actually feel like they've invested time and effort into making sure that they've got this calendar booking in their diary. So again, we then send them a confirmation. So this is done through SMS, it's done through WhatsApp, depending on what platform is going to work best for them. They also have email confirmations too, right? And then from there, before the call, let's say they've booked for 3 days time, they'll then go through an email warm-up sequence where they'll receive emails from the team, just giving them examples of case studies, wins that we're seeing with clients, more information about the services that we provide and the type of AI solutions that we build in the AI systems. And what also happens on top of this is kind of like our linear sort of way of warming up our leads. But another way we do is obviously with our AI agent. So our AI agent will also reopen another conversation, identifying more key problems that they have, just having a back and forth dynamic chat. What this also does is this means that, again, people are bought in. They've actually spent time speaking with this AI via WhatsApp or via SMS. So the chances of them not showing is much, much lower because they're invested. They've told you about their business. We have more qualification criteria on them. Our sales team can now look at this huge long list of conversation and say, we're going to talk about this on the call because this is something they're really, really struggling with, or this is a huge opportunity, or maybe even actually what they said on their form and their qualification survey probably isn't true, and based on the conversation that they've had with the AI, we probably can't help them, so let's cancel the call. So there's so many different use cases for this. Educating your leads, warming them up, keeping them engaged, getting them to show up, but also further qualifying them. And this is one of the key things that we build for our clients. Now, on top of that, we do also send through YouTube videos. So based on the key problems that they actually are having, 9 times out of 10, we've made a video on it on YouTube that we can then send them as a resource. Not only does this mean that they actually get the support right away before our call, but this also means they get to see that I'm a real person and our business is real and we're not just like some fly-by-night scammers that have set up Facebook ads trying to trick them out their hard-earned cash. So we send them back to the channel where they get to consume more content, learn about the AI systems themselves, find out what sort of things we're doing to help our clients. And this obviously massively helps, 1, our show rate, 2, our conversion rate on the back end as well. So next step, this is the second part where a human has to get involved, is someone joins the call. So we have the sales call, it takes place, and our sales team jump on, chat with this client after reviewing all their information that they've submitted in their qualification form and through the AI chats. And then this is a very, very cool AI system that we now have on the back end of these. Now, it was only recently that I was speaking to a good friend, or some would say a mentor, and he was telling us about how he built his agency, and one of the key things that he used was a summary of understanding. Previously, what we would do is when we would jump on these sales calls, we would follow up every call with, hey, thanks for jumping on that call. Let us know if you've got any other questions, or ideally we would book them in for a second call on that first call. And that would help us, get people through the sales process and get them over the line and get them, paying their first invoice. But this summary of understanding is essentially this document which outlines just the basic pain points that they have that were presented on the sales call. And it just basically puts everything into a one page, or not really a one page, it's like 6 pages, but puts everything into a document that is personalized to them, that shows that you are listening, that shows more information about your services, how you can help them, next steps, and also more case studies and testimonials. So many times we've been on calls where people are like, oh, can you just follow up and send me, some information after this call? And we've done that, but you never hear anything back from them. Chances are is because we were always sending like these copy and paste sort of presentations that were just one size fits all. But now we really hyper personalize that, and we do that with AI. So we have a platform called Fathom. There's so many different note takers out there that can join your calls. For me, Fathom is by far the best. I love the UI. It's so simple to use, and it seems to work very, 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 very well. So we have Fathom join all of our sales calls, all of our team calls. Pretty much every single call that we have inside of our agency is documented inside of Fathom. So as soon as our sales team jump on a call, Fathom joins the Google Meet. And then what it does is after every single call, it then creates a summary output. So it identifies the pain that the client was expressing on this call. So in this case, ineffective lead process in its current state, reliance on referrals and word of mouth, limiting growth potential, lack of digital marketing expertise and resources. So what we do is we then send them, this summary and this explanation that they told us on the call. And we automate the process of then adding that and replacing essentially different fields inside of this document with the information that Fathom has collected for this specific client. So we now have a personalized summary of understanding being sent to every single client that every single prospect that we speak to on a sales call right after that initial call. And what we can do from here is in this doc, we have an opportunity to book a second call. We have an opportunity to pay. We have an opportunity to ask more questions, see client results. We have so many different things inside of this doc that basically handles all of their objections, solves any sort of problems that they were maybe having on the call, and also just clears up any unclarification that they may have about the services that we provide. So from there, they either book in for a second call, or we find that some people just jump on a call and they'll pay after the first call. But they'll book in for that second call, let's say, and then the whole process goes over again. So reminders are being sent, same process with AI, where the AI reaches out. It has a further chat with them, asking them more questions, seeing if it can provide them more value. And again, these reminders are sent via SMS, they're sent via WhatsApp, and it's another reason why we're seeing a 90% show rate on the calls that we have. So from there, we now have a system that takes someone from our initial landing page, warms them up, sends them emails, sends them reminders, assigns them to a sales team member, engages with them instantly, sends them confirmations, sends them content to watch based on the problems that they're facing, records everything, sends them a customized and personalized summary of understanding after the back of their call, and then we are then taken to this final point where payment is then made. And our services are honestly anywhere from 10 to 100K. And I know that's a big range, but what we have is we kind of have two sides. This is like fully custom, bespoke, big builds, people that are, paying a lot of money for Salesforce, and they spent hundreds of thousands on their CRM. We essentially come through, rebuild all of that as consultants, and then we implement AI for them, rebuilding them a whole new platform that they can go and then use. And then we have this one here, which is like 10K, which is then where we actually set up this system that I'm showing you right now today on this video. So after payment is made, there's a bunch of automations, again, done inside of Go High Level, where it's an onboarding call is then scheduled. And then there's my ugly mug doing that onboarding call with you if you decide to work with us. Again, this is our final and third human effort spent in this entire sales system. You can now see that this actually isn't that complex, right? It's just a series of steps that take place and help us get to our end goal. And our end goal is, let's say our initial goal is to get cheap book calls on our calendar and fill our sales team's calendar so they can actually jump on as many sales calls as possible. But it's also to have these automated systems. It's to have these smart processes that mean that we don't have to get involved. And it means that we can rely on this system at scale. If we're pushing more and more volume through, let's say, for example, this is our sales system, right? If I'm spending 5K per month, but it takes me 10 hours per day to work on this, if I was to then go and spend 10K and I was to double that, then in theory, I would have to spend 20 hours per day. It's not scalable. It just won't work, right? So what we do is we want to build a system that if I'm spending 5K per month, well, it only takes us 2 hours per week, right? And that means if I then go to spend 50K per month, then it's only going to take me 20 hours per week, which is way more manageable. Okay, so these automated systems just mean that we can step out, we can focus on the 10x tasks, like getting people over the line and like actually delivering for clients. And this is exactly what these sales systems do. So if you are selling info, you're an agency, you're a service-based business, wanting this exact system installed into your company, wanting to get access to this complete AI and automated system, including the entire funnel A to Z, and even actually getting help driving traffic into this funnel. So not only do we build this system for you, we then actually help you fill the system with leads that are ready to buy from you too. Then click the link in the description of this video, go through this system for yourself, speak to our AI agents, and hopefully you'll be qualified where you can then book in for a call, go through every single step, jump on a call with one of the team, receive your very own summary of understanding, and then hopefully booking your onboarding call once you pay us to work with me. There you go. Anyway, guys, hope you found this video helpful. That is our entire sales system. Super simple. Don't overcomplicate this stuff. Just get started with it. If you are working manually inside of your business in 2025, you're going to be at a massive, massive disadvantage, and you just don't need to be anymore. So work smarter, not harder. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.